Do the proper thing. Please ask, do not assume. Community engagement screening. This event took place in the gym and activity room of the Bernice Fontenot Senior Wellness Center at 3531 George Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C. A large room split into two sections. One section is an array of treadmills and other workout equipment. There are large mirrors on the walls in this area. In the other section, against a wall with large windows, is a 70-inch flat-screen TV with a laptop computer connected to it. On the screen are two colorful theater mask symbols. The TV is facing two sections of seats, with 15 seats in each section. The audience of all ethnicities is filled with individuals ranging in age from their mid-50s to mid-80s. The panelists face the audience and are seated in this order: Gail Snyder, Janice A.R. Brooks, Clarence Buddy Moore, Alexis Johnson, and Chris Good. The discussion is moderated by Todd Tolson, a fair-skinned African-American male with a shaved head, clear-framed glasses, and bright blue eyes. He moves back and forth throughout the audience and the panel to facilitate the discussion using a microphone. As people enter, Todd is passing out playbills to the audience. In the background on the far right are a rack of large yoga balls. On the far left, a counter with many gift bags. Program Director Michelle Singleton, a black female with salt and pepper hair pulled back with sweeping bangs to one side, quickly exits.
How's everybody doing today? It's nice to be here. I want to tell you a little bit about the Blind Muse Foundation, then I'm going to tell you about the activity that we're going to experience today. We educate our sighted friends about our blind friends, and the reason is that 3% of the population is blind, and so that leaves the rest of the 97%. If you're not a family member or a friend, you don't know someone. And what better way to get to know someone is by allowing them to tell their story. Today, we're going to see a film of a play called Do the Proper Thing. Please ask, do not assume. This play was put on by blind actors, everyone from being totally blind to having low vision and one-sighted individual. And it basically talks about how to engage so that there's no awkward moments. So we're going to share that in just a moment. But at first I thought I would give away a little money. Would anyone like some money? Yes. Oh, we got a hand over here, all right? Now she said yes. What's your name? What is your name?
Microphone in hand, Todd walks towards the audience member.
I got to get a name. Look, she wants some money, but I can't get a name?
Robin wants money.
Oh, hi, Robin. How are you? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say all of the people that are 50 and over stand up.
Almost everyone in the room stands.
Okay, all of the people that are 60 and under sit down. Okay, 65 and under sit down.
Everyone is still standing.
Wow. 70 and under sit down. 75 and under sit down. 80 and under sit down. Y'all are making this really hard. Okay, Mr. Buddy, I'm gonna have to have you sit down because you're part of this. Okay, so now, wait, we have two people left. Keep standing if you want. You have to earn this now. Okay, so 81, sit down. All right, sir, looks like you got a $25 gift certificate.
Todd leaves the view of the camera and then returns.
This, just so you know, this gift certificate, this is a $25 gift card, and this was donated by Metropolitan Washington Ear. If you're not aware of them, they are a radio reading service that have been around in this area since for 50 years now. If you have a vision problem or a problem where you're unable to read text, they offer a service where you can call in. You can have the Washington Post read to you. You can have the Washington Times, no longer the Washington Times, but the New York Times read. But there's also quite a few, I think maybe 27 different types of publications that they read. They also have other services. Their name and their information is in this brochure that you guys have.
The brochure is titled, Vision Beyond Sight Players. Do the proper thing. Please ask, do not assume. A silhouette of two people seated facing each other with a speech bubble above their heads. Text, written by Janice A.R. Brooks and Clarence Buddy Moore. Based on simple tips for comfortable interactions when engaging with blind individuals. Directed by Janice A.R. Brooks. At the bottom are two theater mask icons with ribbons.
And the reason I wanted to bring it to your attention is that the service is free. So you can call them up and they will be willing to answer any questions that you have. Yes, ma'am. Well, you can have this one. Okay. All right, we got one more gift. How many people have grandkids here? Raise your hand for grandkids. Who has grandkids 15 and under? Okay. 12 and under. 10 and under. Okay, let's go. Who has a grandkid between 5 and 10? Okay. 6 and 10. 7 and 10. Who has a 9-year-old grandchild? Okay, we're over here to these three ladies, okay? So why don't you tell me, how old are your grandchildren? So we'll skip to that, and we're going to make it between you three. How old is your grandchild?
How old are they?
How old is the one that's between 9 and 10? Is it a 9-year-old?
9.
Okay, 9. 15. Okay, so we're going to go with the 9-year-olds, okay? Yeah, do you have a 9-year-old? Okay, so when is the 9-year-old's birthday? Is it in January? February? March? April? You're December. Anyone before December? November? May? Looks like it's going to go to you. This here book is a book of poetry. It's called Who's Who in the Poetry Zoo. Our foundation worked with a local author. She's out of McLean, Virginia. She is the writer of the poetry. We got together with her to put together 30 poems that are now videos, and the videos are online. There's a QR code on the back here. And this QR code takes you to the YouTube channel where you can follow along with the video poems with your grandchild. The main thing that's really important for me to let you know is that we commission blind voice actors to do all of the videos. So what our foundation does is we do unique programs to try to incorporate not only education, but also some type of employment through our activities. And this is one of the results. So if you are interested in purchasing the book, it is on Amazon, and there is a QR code in the book that you have, the booklet that you have, that'll take you directly to Amazon. And if not, you can look up Poetry Zoo on YouTube, and then you will be able to see all of them without purchasing the book. Okay? With that being said, we wanted to give a few things away. We got some more giveaways. We're going to start our presentation.
To cast and crew who bring the production to life. Inside, you'll find biographies of the actors,
Is that too loud?
playwrights, and directors, as well as details about the storyline, themes, and creative vision of the play. Beyond the practical information, a playbill celebrates the artistry and hard work that make the performance possible.
The lights are dimmed. Focus moves to the flat screen TV. The screen swaps out from showing a dark room and to a well-lit room with a man carrying a microphone in front of 5 diverse panelists. One person is holding a white cane.
All of this is on this team here. Some of the members are not here. I'm just a vehicle to get the message out for them. And ideally, before we have some giveaways, does anyone else want to win $25? Anybody? No? I got 2 hands. I'm going to come over here. Nobody on this side? Okay, all right. So let's start with names. Is there anyone in the audience that their first name begins with V? V. V is in Victor. Nope. Okay. So then we're going to go. Is there anyone in the audience that has the first name with B? B is in boy. Stand up. Anybody else? Look at you. You got $25 and you didn't even want to raise your hand. Once again, this $25 gift card is from Metropolitan Washington Ear. They are a radio reading service here in the DC metropolitan area. Their service is free. Their phone number is in the brochure that you have. If you have any questions to find out if you can participate, how it all works, you can call them up. They'd be happy to answer questions with you, okay? So starting all that, since I'm going to put you on the spot now. What's your name?
Senior black female with short salt and pepper hair, wearing eyeglasses and an orange shirt covered with a black hooded jacket.
Betty. Congratulations, Betty. Betty, do you have any questions for our audience? For our actors and actresses?
How long did it take you to do the film? How long did it take you to do the film?
Janice, do you want to take that? She wants to know, how long did it take you guys to put the production together?
Janice, seated on the panel, is a senior black female with short brown hair. She has a pair of dark glasses resting on the top of her head and wearing a green V-neck, high-collared blouse, and black slacks.
Okay, thank you so much. First of all, thank you all for being here with us today. The team and I, the Vision Beyond Sight, we thank you all. We thank Miss Michelle Singleton for, did I say that correctly? Okay, thank you so much, Miss Michelle, for allowing us, the Vision Beyond Sight group, to be here this afternoon. Now, straight to your question, it took, I would say, in preparation for a 2-month rehearsal, and getting the actors in place, I would say it took me about 2 weeks to 3 weeks to write it. So you have to hear the characters in your head, and then you have to make a decision on, after I wrote the production of the skit, I started thinking about who could play that particular character. So I always put everything in prayer, because without the inspiration from God above, I couldn't do it. And it's always about the message that is a part of the skit. So about, I would say, anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks to answer your question directly. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Betty. So we've had one question on the production. So now we're going to, because we want to start a discussion, we're going to, we don't mind questions on the production, but I'm going to give you an example, and this will prompt you a little bit. So I had the cast over to my house so we could watch this together, and I've had blind friends since 2015, and I have quite a few, and I made the mistake of moving someone's purse. Okay? And the reason I say I made the mistake, I moved someone's personal item and they were blind and they thought that the item was there. So I've been involved with the blind and visually impaired community for almost 10 years, and I still do things without thinking, which means I throw off people's orientation. That's what that did. So we got to see how we guide a person that may be blind or visually impaired or who's using a cane, or when we're serving someone, how to let them know where their items are on the plate. Do I have a question that someone would like to ask some of this? Okay, here we go. We'll go to her first. There you go.
So your name, Vision Beyond Sight, that's an excellent. Did one person come up with that, or was that a conglomerate?
A senior black female with short salt and pepper hair, wearing eyeglasses.
She said Vision Beyond Sight is a great name. And Buddy, you want to share how you guys came up with that?
Buddy is in his mid-80s. A light-skinned black male, with eyeglasses, wearing a beige newsboy cap with a black tracksuit that has a few red lines highlighting parts of the suit. He is also holding in his left hand a white cane that is standing vertically next to him.
Yes, what happened, we were thinking about a title for the production, and we threw out maybe 6 or 7 different titles, and this was the one that stuck. It just made so much sense, and that's the one that we went with.
Perfect. We have another question here.
A white female, shoulder-length blonde hair with highlights, sporting a dark leather jacket.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is really amazing. And I'm curious to know, for all of you, which part of the production is one that you personally wish more people understood?
Bobby? Okay. Here we go. I'm going to pass the microphone back to you.
Yeah. Well, I think the whole process, I think, is just treat blind people or persons with low vision or vision impaired the same as you would anyone else. That is, we can do things on our own. Some things we can do, some things we can't. I think most of us would like to attempt things first to see if we can do it. Then if we cannot do it, that's when we will ask for assistance. So I think the best thing to do is to, again, unless the person who has poor vision or no vision or low vision is putting himself in danger or another person in danger, let them try it. But then once you see them getting into a danger zone, that's when you sort of say something in order to pull them back. But again, I've learned so much being a member of the National Federation of the Blind. When I first was diagnosed with glaucoma, I thought the world was coming to an end. I'm saying, what am I going to do? I'll need someone to cook for me, someone to clean, someone to do all these things for me, go to the store for me. But now that I've met these individuals within not only the National Federation of the Blind, but the Prevention of Blindness Society, there's so many organizations that assist those persons who are having issues with sight in developing ways in which you can do things on your own. Again, let us try, even if you're watching us doing things that you think would not be appropriate for you. But if we're not putting ourselves in danger or someone else in danger, let us try.
Absolutely. So we're going to pass the microphone down. We'll go from Gail, and then we'll just keep passing. We're going to give a statement and answer the question. That way we get, instead of one person's output, we get 5. Isn't that great?
Gail is an 80-year-old white female with short curly salt and pepper hair, wearing a black cardigan over an orange blouse with a black skirt.
Hi, everybody. Yes, I've been thinking about this issue a lot, obviously, because of the play and because it's something that we can never really get far away from. You see, I am not just a person that's totally blind now. I did used to be able to see when I was a child and growing up. And so I have some experience, but the main thing I feel very strongly about is the people need to treat other people with respect. If you want to offer help to a blind person, don't just come up and grab them, because that feels like an attack. Think about that. You wouldn't want that, would you? So the main thing to do is speak to somebody if you want to offer assistance, and people will respond most favorably if you speak to them first. And so that's, maybe I should pass this along for another point to be brought up by someone else, okay?
Thank you, Ms. Gail.
Janice takes the microphone from Gail and then walks it over to Alexis, a black female in her early 40s with long black hair, wearing a colorful flower patterned dress.
Thank you so much. Alexis?
Good afternoon, everyone. I really enjoyed working with the entire cast as we put the production together. Miss Janice, as she helped with our lines. It actually, I will say, was a challenge as a blind person, because people ask me all the time, they're like, how did you memorize these lines? You know, you can't read text, so I thank my parents. They helped me with the memorization of my part. And so the part that resounded with me the most was when Hugh and I entered the home, and Nicole Whoopi asked us about what should I do, how should I help you. Again, this is a new journey for me. I have only been low vision going on 2 years. So I know that my family wants to help me. My friends want to help me when we go social places. And they've also had to go through an education as well, because there are times when I will need help and I will ask for help. But there are also times when I may not need help, and they're very, very quick to offer it. And I acknowledge that. I really, really appreciate it. But when I'm out in public, again, please don't ask. There are so many different, please do ask. I mean, there are so many different levels I've come to know that of low vision, and how we are identified as well. As you can see in the production, I did not use a cane. I do not generally use a cane because I have enough useful sight at this moment. But there are times when you may see me pause. You may see me hesitate when I'm walking. And I've gone through this. I've had several conversations with other people. Just please don't assume that I can't see or that I cannot continue on my path. I do identify as a person with special needs. However, I'm still a person. So please respect, my independence. I'm still working on it. This is, like I said, it's only been 2 years. I'm still working on my independence. I'm still working on, I think I've come to accept the new me in my new world. But please just don't assume that I need help. Also, the part about going out to eat. I love to go out to eat. Love, 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 love. And I also love to read. And I thought that would have been taken from me once I lost my sight. I was like, oh my gosh, I am going to be stuck in the house for the rest of my life. I cannot drive anymore. I cannot work anymore. I cannot go places by myself anymore. But what does somewhat come in handy, I usually get through the menu, and when I arrive at a restaurant, I pretty much know what I want by then. I do not specifically ask if we do the clock for my meals, but I have, used that method. When I have been out with others, they're able to say, okay, Alexis, at this time, at 3 o'clock, here is your starch. At 12 o'clock, here's your protein. But yeah, so I have, and I had people in the audience when we were there, family members, that are like, oh, I've learned so much. So now I know how to present things to you. Instead of you asking, where's this? What's this? Where is this? And they know now to, like I said, just ask me. Okay? Thank you so much. Chris?
As Alexis passes the mic to Chris on her left, Buddy states something inaudible to her. She passes the mic to Buddy.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Where are we? Okay.
There we go.
Now, Gail and I are a little unusual, and I don't want to speak for Gail, but I am. Gail and I, not only are we visually impaired, we are hearing impaired. Now, I don't know to what extent Gail's hearing is an impairment, but I'm going to tell you about my hearing. First of all, I have vision in one eye only and very poor vision in the other eye, which means that my depth perception is poor, and I have no idea whether a curb is 2 inches or 2 feet. I have no idea whether a glass of water is 3 inches from me or a foot from me. So danger lurks all around a table when I'm eating. Now, I don't know what Gail's hearing problem is, but my hearing issue is not so much volume. It's volume, but it also mixes in with the fact that I have difficulty hearing the beginning of words, the ending of words, and high-pitched sounds. As many of you know, I formerly lived about 2 blocks from here, and one spring morning, or afternoon, I was on my way to the center here. This was about 12 years ago. And I heard all these birds chirping. I said, where did these birds come from? First time I've heard them. That was the first time that I had my hearing aid. So the birds are there all the time, but I never heard them.
The mic is passed to Chris, a tall black male, curly hair and beard, wearing a black baseball cap and a black hoodie with the text, "They not like us," next to a blind person icon in white. All the text is in white except the word not, which is in red.
Good afternoon. I think a lot of stuff that I've heard is all about communication. A lot of times when you approach a blind person, you got to make sure that you communicate. Say your name. Oh. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, my bad. So you got to make sure that you communicate. A lot of times when you pull up on somebody who is blind, you have to make sure that you state what it is you're there for. Because being that I can't see you, when you approach me, it's a possibility that you can be a threat to me. So I have to make sure that I understand what you're there for. Grabbing me or grabbing my cane is not the right thing to do. One of the things that stuck with me was people being in denial, right? You have to make sure that you're able to come out of the denial. That way you can prepare if it gets worse or not. And a lot of times you have to go where you celebrate it, not where you tolerate it in order to receive that. A lot of times people can be in denial because they may not feel that they're safe enough to say, yo, I'm actually losing my vision. Can I get some help? So a lot of times just make sure that you're communicating properly. Don't just walk up on people and grab them because you may put them in a position where they feel extremely uncomfortable. And you can cause more harm to them versus helping them. So my thing is just always just make sure that you communicate with them properly. That way they'll be able to accept or even decline your assistance because they may or may not need it. But the more that you communicate that and have more of a conversation and don't assume and just ask, the better off you'll be.
We have a question over here.
A white female with light brown hair with streaks of gray. Her hair is pinned up. She has a white mask hanging just under her chin as she speaks into a microphone.
My name's Heather Foote, and I have a question for each of you. And actually, it would be interesting if, I know you just spoke, but if Mr. Chris Good could answer first. And it goes back to my friendship with Buddy Moore, which goes about 10 years ago. And the question is, and I'll tell you why I came up with that question, how do you decide whether you're going to tell somebody, including a friend, that they could do things differently? And so I was picking up Buddy Moore at his senior residence. I had driven up in my little Honda Fit and opened the door for him. And even though I knew that he would count the steps to go to the metro, and he knew exactly how to get to the Town Metro, I nevertheless had been offering rides. And so finally, he said to me as he was trying to get in, he said, you know, Heather, every car is different, and it's really much easier for me to take the metro rather than to, figure out how to get into each different car. So the question for you, maybe Mr. Good starting out, is how do you decide when you're going to say something?
That's an excellent question. Here you go, Chris.
Sure. Appreciate your question. I think a lot of times it just comes always down to comfortability, right? As you just mentioned, Mr. Buddy Moore, he's comfortable counting the steps versus getting into a car, right? But based on my comfort level, I'm used to getting into an Uber. So I know how to feel for a car, where I need to position myself at. And once I'm able to be comfortable, then I'm able to make a proper decision, right? But it's all up to how you want to do you, right? And it's like I say all the time in my messaging, it's you versus you. Wherever it is that you feel that you're comfortable with, then you need to go with that. Now, it's nothing wrong with making the adjustment, but a lot of times, if I'm on the go, I don't have time to make an adjustment. I have to do what's comfortable for myself. So therefore, and then in time of leisure and stuff like that, I can be taught about how to go about getting in this car versus getting in that car, right? But to answer your question, I think it's all about comfort level. Whatever Mr. Moore is comfortable with, that's what he should roll with.
Hi, I'm Alexis's mom. But in response to the question,
This is Alexis's mom.
A black female with short salt and pepper hair brushed away from her face. Around her neck hangs a bright teal scarf complementing her multi-striped patterned dress. She is wearing clear-framed eyeglasses.
But I do understand what you asked because we get it all the time. when Alexis walking without her cane. If we go to Kaiser and she walks up to the desk, and you know, Kaiser, you have to punch in your number and nobody will help. And she'd walk up to the desk and ask this, can you help me? And they say, you go to the desk with the automatic keyboard. I can't see. Yes, she doesn't have a cane. So therefore, the person does not realize. If we go to a restaurant, if we go somewhere and Alexis doesn't have her cane, no, they don't know that she's visually impaired. So that's, you know, an answer to your question. It does happen.
We're going to do a couple more giveaways really quick before we wrap up. So I have one more book. This is Who's Who in the Poetry Zoo. It is published by the Blind Muse Foundation. This is a local author. She's out of McLean, Virginia. She has partnered with 2 blind voice actors, and they have created 30 videos that accompany the poems that are in this book. There's a QR code on the back, so that means that you can follow the poems and their videos, which were also produced by the foundation, with the book. So we're going to ask the question, how many people here went to high school in DC? How many people went to middle school in DC? How many people went to elementary school in DC? Okay, so I got 5. Okay, so now I got to narrow it down. Okay, who left DC and came back? We got one winner here. All right, thank you so much. All right, there you go. That's Who's Who in the Poetry Zoo. You guys have been a delightful crowd. I got $25 more that I need to give away, and I got to. All righty, so now let's go with. Oh, you know what? Everybody that is 50 and older, stand up. And only the people that did not win something can participate in this.
Almost everyone in the room stands.
Okay. So now we're going to go the other way around. If you're 80 and above, sit down. 80 and above, sit down. Okay. We have 75 and above, sit down. 70 and above, sit down. 65 and above, sit down. Okay, 60 and above, sit down. 60 and above. Oh, wait, okay, so we got 2, so y'all both got to stand up. How old are you? 62? 60. Got to go to 62. All right, thank you so much. Lastly, before we begin to wrap up, are there any last questions? Because then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the microphone off to all of our panelists so they can give a quick 1-minute goodbye. But before I do that, does anyone have any questions? I do want to let you know that our phone number is in the brochure that you have. If you like this program, we do have other programs that are similar. And it's all about educating the sighted community about the blind and visually impaired community. We have some, the one that I'll bring to you, we have some documentaries that we've done. There were people who are not in the area. We could come show the documentary, and then we could do a Zoom call where you'd be able to ask questions. The reason I bring that up, the one person that comes to mind, her name is Erin Wellman. She went blind when she was 15. She is now 27. She tried to get a job with her white cane and learn Braille. No one would give her a job, so she created her own coffee company. She now sells coffee all through the United States, the UK, and Canada, and all of her stuff is labeled in Braille. And she's 27. And that's because no one would give her a job. So this is the kind of information that we want to bring out to you. With that being said, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Gail, our narrator, so you can hear a little bit from her, and then she's going to pass it on. Okay, there you go, Gail.
What do you want me to talk about?
Your closing remarks.
Closing remarks? This has been a pleasure from start to finish for me. And it's been a pleasure to be here. And I hope everybody felt this was time well spent, because from my point of view, and I think for all of us, it certainly was a great opportunity to all get together. And thank you for having us.
Thank you all so much again for being here with us. This is our first event. You all have been a pleasure to be with you. Please do the proper thing. Ask, do not assume that someone in your family who and friends who may be having some eye challenges, ask them, have the uncomfortable conversation, but have the conversation. It's needed.
I think the question in reference to how would someone know that you're either blind, poor vision, etc., if you don't have a white cane, that's a legitimate question. My white cane trainer finally convinced me to carry my white cane wherever I go, because then people will give me the space that I need in order to maneuver. I live in a building of 180 people. Now they all know that I'm vision impaired. Prior to me carrying this white cane, a few of them knew, the ones that I told. Others did not. They treated me as if I were a sighted person, and they had a right to do that because I was no different than anyone else. But now that when they see this white cane, they give me the space to maneuver in order to keep myself safe and keep others safe also.
You want to give your closing remarks? Closing remarks.
Yeah. And thanks to everyone for coming. And again, working with Janice was really great. Janice was the person who conceived this particular production, and she brought me on board, and I did some work with her, and we made this thing work. It is now, I think, it's bigger than either one of us thought it would ever be. We just thought it would be a luncheon with the National Federation of the Blind for that October 10th date, and then it would all be in the past. But that is not the case. Todd came on board, and Todd is just relentless in making sure that this particular production gets as many places as possible in order for people to fully understand that blind people are the same as everyone else. We just do not have the ability to see as clearly as others.
Okay. A common misconception is that vision loss cannot happen to you. It's only something that old people experience, or that you have to be blind from birth. Vision loss does not care about how educated you are, how big your house is, how many cars are in your driveway. It affects us all. So just please be aware of your numbers. A lot of things lead to vision loss. There's so many, there are probably like a million different diseases that I have become aware of through the people I've met in my support groups and through the NFB. So just please be aware. If you, like Miss Janice said, if you think you are experiencing vision loss, please try not to hide it. Try to go to your doctor, and just be aware of others around us who may be experiencing it as well and may need help, as Chris said, coming out the closet. Okay, I just want to thank Miss Janice and Mr. Todd for continuing to share our message. And thank you for choosing me to be a part of your production. Thank you.
Well, I just want to say thank you for everybody for coming. More importantly, the knowledge that you received from Don't Assume, Just Ask. Now that you're in the know and knowledgeable about it, be contagious with it. Now that you have an understanding, like Alexis said, it can happen to anybody. So you have to be understanding of where you're at, the things that you need to do, and the information that you get. Like I said before, be contagious with it. The more contagious you are with the information and the knowledge that you receive, you'll be able to give that information to someone else, right? So that way, if you do approach a blind person who doesn't have a cane, or if you approach somebody that does have a cane, such as myself, you know how to do so properly, right? So, like I said, that's my only thing, man. Appreciate you guys coming out. Don't don't assume, ask. You feel me? That part.
thank you so much for having us. I was going to say it has been a pleasure. One of the things that I just wanted to reiterate, which I believe is important, is that we do have two younger people here, but this production was put on and not only written, produced, directed, and performed by a group of seniors. And it's really important to acknowledge that. All right? So thank you so much for having us, and hopefully we'll see you sometime soon. You guys have a great day. We do have some wait a minute, wait, don't go yet. We do have some gift bags that Janice has gotten that you guys could, I think, is like some candy and stuff. So we're going to pass those out to you guys, and then you can go and have a great weekend. Thank you so much. The Blind Muse Foundation, a registered 501c3 nonprofit, is dedicated to education, communication, and connecting communities through unique engagement opportunities. If you would like more information about this type of activity for your community, please email us at info@blindmuse.org. To learn more about the Blind Muse Foundation, go to www.blindmuse.org. Thank you.